Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the NFT Experience Show. In this show, we interview marketing leaders to learn how they use NFTs to build communities, increase fan engagement, and reward loyalty. And today, I'm welcoming Kevin De Mulder from Studio 100. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
And Stefan Collins from Venly to the show. Stefan is live calling from Silicon Valley. So thank you, Stefan.
GM.
It's so early because for you at this moment it's like 6:30 in the morning. So thank you for that. Kevin is the head of digital from Studio 100, and he initiated the idea of building a fan experience platform called the MagicCircle. Hi, Kevin, and welcome to the show. While most of the Belgium audience is familiar with Studio 100, there are also a couple of people that are tuning in from abroad. Could you please tell a bit more about Studio 100, what exactly the company is, and how the idea about from building a fan experience platform, how it originated, just to give a little intro to people that are tuning into this show.
Yeah, sure. Studio 100, I think, began in Belgium. It's kind of a Disney story, but not with a mouse, but with a dog and its owner who had their TV show. Right now, it's a build. They make content, live action and animation, and they have a whole 360 approach around that. So we have merchandising, we have a lot of live entertainment, although that is a lot based in Belgium, though. We have a whole theme park section across Europe. In Belgium, you have some, but even abroad in Croatia, I think. No, Poland it was. We have TV channels. We have animation studios in Munich, in LA, and in Australia, if I believe. So it's a whole big thing.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. And I think most of the people from Belgium that are now in adult phase remember still the talking dog. And I went through the entire circle of all that typical characters that Studio 100 is now rich of. So
I think a lot of people in Belgium and a couple, I think in the Netherlands as well, grew up with a lot of the content that has been produced here. Besides that, in Europe, I think characters like Maya the Bee, Vic the Viking, Heidi are more known because a lot of them are more for the Netherlands and Belgium, like K3 and Samsung, etc.
Yeah, okay. And you are head of digital, and at a certain moment, I imagine then while brainstorming together with the team, you came up with the idea. Okay, why exactly building a fan experience platform? Where did it originated from, the idea? Why is it so important for Studio 100 to connect with the fans? Could you elaborate a bit on that?
The idea has been lingering for years and years, to give, a lot of stuff happens here. Think of the press conferences that we have. Think of behind the scenes what happens in theaters, because we have a theater in Bruges now, which features the stage is built of LED screens that can build without wires, that can move without wires. Even the tribune is built of 8 portions, and they move separately, completely wireless. Getting a glimpse behind what's happening there is something we haven't really been opening up to. And because we had our 25th anniversary during COVID, we really couldn't, celebrate it like we could. And that just added to the need or the want to build or open up our doors and let the real fans experience more of what's behind the curtains. And we were looking for a way to do that. And I think it coincided with some other things that we were thinking about, to have like an idea of, okay, let's do it now. I think we can do it now.
Yeah. Okay. So Maybe the concept of the fan experience platform, just to summarize for the audience, is that you create a kind of community of super fans, we can call. They buy a membership card, and with the membership card, they can get access to experiences you cannot buy. That's the entire idea behind to celebrate the 25th anniversary of. Of the brand of the company itself. So, but of course, people that followed the project and maybe went to the MagicCircle website and went to the Q&A, the frequently asked questions, discovered that behind the fan experience, behind the platform, that Studio 100 shows for quite innovative kind of technology. It's built upon NFT foundations. Is that a strategic decision, Kevin?
Well, like I said, some lines of thought coincided with this project, because on the other hand, we had me and Jonas Hermans, who's our head of IT here in Studio 100. We both have some cryptocurrency, and we were, looking into NFTs, blockchain technology, but not really into the hype of it. We were just looking at what will this mean for the company? What will the basics be behind this? For instance, if you look at ticketing, we had some experiences during COVID where people, one show was canceled and was put to a later date, and people started selling their tickets. But then again, COVID took a while, so we had to reschedule again. And we communicated with people who had bought the ticket initially, but we didn't know they, resold their tickets. So we sent out like, sorry, we have to reschedule once more. And people turned up at the theater with, the tickets. They didn't get the message that it was rescheduled because we couldn't reach them. We didn't know who they were. And we had this thing like, this is the kind of things that blockchain could solve. So how can we start experimenting with this? Because we had this real, genuine belief that this technology will have an impact on some of the aspects that we're doing. Ticketing could be one, the ownership of digital assets could be another. And it's where that thing that we were thinking about came together with the idea of the fan club, that we really hit it off like, okay, now we're into something that could be useful and that could be an experiment to see and be ready for when those things happen.
So for you, building like the initial community is like creating a kind of minimal viable community, a playground to start experimenting maybe with other experiments or applications or features onto it. And then, the moment starts where you guys in the management decide, okay, this is the way to go. This is what we like to do and want to do. But of course, blockchain technology is not broad accessible by everyone. You need to learn to code, and you need to be able to create smart contracts. Maybe I learn some specific code languages and all that kind of stuff. So you said, okay, let's start selecting our partners, and then you came out in touch and you start talking with Venly. Maybe how did that first contact came? What is the reason why Venly is such an important partner for you guys? And how did it start? Did they came to you? Did you go to them?
I don't know who
a combination between the two could be.
I think a lot of people were talking to each other next to each other, so there were like different lines of communication happening. One of the real foundations of this project was that we want to put this all under the hood. Like, my mom should be able to join and do all these kinds of things without having the hustle of getting a wallet, buying crypto, because we've seen a lot of these experiments already. It's not that this idea of a fan experience built on top of this technology is new. What we really wanted to push forward is like, it needs to be as invisible as possible, because this should not be a user problem. This should be invisible, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Venly was talking to some people within the company, and we started, iterating on this idea, because I said like where the fan idea and the technology idea met each other. That's like the fifth iteration of what we were thinking about. We've went from putting out one NFT out there, and the highest bidder gets it and gets all lifetime exclusives and will donate stuff to charity, to where we are now. But it's within those talks with management, with the board even, because we really went broad with this thing across the whole organization, that Venly came into the picture like, oh, we talked to some people, and that made the connection. And we started talking with Venly. I even think we were talking them in like iteration 3, so halfway at that. And then we started really going like, okay, so we really have this solution for the wallet, because Venly has an amazing wallet solution which really builds the bridge from the Web3 to the people from Web2, so that it is as simple as just making an account somewhere else. And I think then the next step was going to be like, okay, now we need to be able to validate the ownership of something, and gate content based on that. And that's where we started looking for, we still had that missing block, and we started searching, I think together in most of the cases, towards a good partner, to open up that thing and take away that step without having, again, the hustle of having the NFT, validating it, and all those technical stuff. And I think that's where SiteManager came into the picture, to be the real, three-party solution that we were looking for at that point.
Yeah, it was really, that is how we experienced it as well. It was like a co-creation ship between the three parties. It's like, of course, the Venly API is beautiful, the wallet solution is great, but still you need to build on their tech stack. But the good thing is that, they did the translation between what we call the Web2 coding language to the Web3 coding language. So we don't need to bother about the Web3 complexities. We just can stay in our current tool stack. But then, of course, the challenge is still there, that you need to create an interface for your end clients to be able to visualize the NFT, to buy, to do the checkout. So yes, it was really a beautiful partnership over there. And as you now introduced Venly a bit to the story, Stefan, you're here as well. Maybe it's good to give also the audience a quick intro about what Venly is for them who doesn't know yet. But also, what would interest me is to find out how this Studio 100 case is similar or totally different from other use cases that you did, and how you look at it. Is that the future? Is this kind of brands who are going to change the blockchain revolution? Or how do you look at it from your perspective, Stefan?
Yeah, so indeed, first of all, Venly is a blockchain technology provider, which means that we provide APIs and SDKs to development companies that they can build on top of blockchain without being a blockchain specialist. So I never heard someone saying that we have like beautiful APIs. It's like a developer who is talking about a product, but thank you, I'm happy. They are beautiful, but they are powerful actually, because we are able. Yeah, powerful and beautiful. Like documentation is also beautiful. No, I just want to explain. Indeed, we are blockchain agnostic, and we developed APIs on top of different blockchains to give like Web2 developers the power to build on top of blockchain without being a blockchain developer. And that's why I guess like we working closely together with SiteManager today, because we understand that you have the Web3 aspect, which adds complexity on top of a project, but you still need to build a real experience. And what we want to solve with Venly is like the user onboarding. You can have a nice metaverse, you can have a nice NFT project or an application. If you're not able to bring your mom into the experience, or just to create a frictionless experience, then it will not happen. And this is what we saw very early. Like the company founded in 2018, and we saw there was an issue in like user onboarding and doing easily transaction. And this is actually from there on, that's how Venly was started, with the mission to onboard the masses into Web3 with Web2 familiar experiences. So like you already said and explained, Kevin, they just go to the website that SiteManager developed. You connect, you create an account. Behind the scenes, you actually create a wallet. And then when you claim or buy the pass or the NFT, we don't call it an NFT, but yeah, a kind of a loyalty pass. It's actually an NFT. It's a digital collectible who lives on chain, but as in a wallet. But we never communicate about a wallet or an NFT. And I think this is why I love and like the project of Studio 100 a lot. That they, as a big brand, use the technology, and we have the same mission. Blockchain should be under the hood. It's just a technology. If you go to a store and you buy something with your credit card, you also don't think about, okay, what protocol is sending my money from point A to Z? It doesn't matter. The technology is powerful because it's all about transparency. It's about ownership, but you need to do smart things with it and on it. And this is why I like the Studio 100 MagicCircle a lot. They never announce that they're going to do wallet stuff, NFT stuff, digital collectible stuff, how you want to call it. But they are using the power, because now in the future, if they want to create like a bigger partnership ecosystem, they can leverage the power of the blockchain without creating a lot of new APIs and all the stuff. It's like, because you have proof of ownership in the wallet on the blockchain, and people who now owns like one of the 500 NFTs or 501 NFTs of Samson and Hart today, they have a proof of ownership that they are a fan, and they can navigate in the metaverse again with just having the digital collectible in their wallet. And again, this is what we do, like just with your social account or with your email address, Google, whatever, you create an account, we create a wallet, and you're ready to navigate in the space. And that's why I think that the Studio 100 case is very powerful, and it aligns with the mission we have. We want to onboard the next 100 million to the blockchain, but we should do it frictionless. We do not want to bother people with the technicality of how difficult it is and all the stuff. And this is what we do here at Venly. And I think the three companies here working together, it's very nice, because you also have a cool platform, low-code, no-code solutions you build on top of our Web3 APIs, and you can deliver experience to Studio 100 and brands like Studio 100 to really do something for the end fan and not bother them with technology, but really create an experience. So that's why I think we all did a good job.
Yeah, and we really noticed it in the press as well, because even when we just announced the initial, or we started talking about what we were building, we basically had a lot of positive response just on that, basis. You can see that we're now at that point where the hype and is over, and that we're now moving into. There was even one journalist who said it like, it's come to a point where Studio 100 of all people is of all companies is doing actually something that makes sense with this thing.
Yeah.
That was maybe in the hype or in the end of the hype, but you notice that we're ready to go into that thing now, and that really foundation that we use there really hit some nerves and made sense, I think, to a lot of people.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess. And indeed, like, I'm also a Samson and Hart OG. Every Sunday morning, I was looking to Samson and Hart. So it makes sense, because, yeah, you have a big brand, and NFTs as digital collectibles resonate perfectly with all the things you're doing at Studio 100. So, and I think it's brave for a brand like Studio 100 to do it, because like you said before, you want to do like a lot of innovation stuff, but it's not always that easy, because you're talking to families and kids. So you need to all take this into account, and like cryptocurrency NFTs have like a bad taste in the mouth sometimes. So I think this is a very nice example how you can use the technology on the right way without boring people with technology, but just create an experience that is here to stay and where you can build on top. I think I'm definitely know that you have other ideas for other IPs you own in the company, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
No, absolutely. I understand, and maybe to summarize, it's like the two things that I hear here is go beyond the hype, so like create real value to your community, and enable it under the hood. So make sure that you use that kind of innovative technology but don't bother the user with it. And it must be, and it was also your firm statement when first talking to each other, Kevin. It must be as easy as buying to a ticket to one of our shows today. So if they can buy, if the grandmother can buy a ticket for the grandchild for one of the K3 shows, let us say, okay, that's the way to go. That's the way how it should look like. And I think also in the reactions I received afterwards from within the community, people said, okay, was it a strategic choice to put it under the hood? And I definitely say yes. It's not that you're not proud that you're using that kind of blockchain technology. It's just to prove that you know your own community, your own fans very well. If we would have chosen, if you would have chosen to start talking about NFTs and blockchain and Web3 and creating a wallet, definitely, this would be a failure from the beginning on. So it's just because you are able to put it under the hood, but still create, the added value of that innovative technology. That's the great thing. And I think that most of the added value is not visible yet. That's maybe in phase 2 or phase 3, the moment when you start elaborating on the idea. Maybe it's a good idea to show to the audience what the experience was about, because we made a small screen cap about how people could buy the NFT for the people that are viewing and listening that I didn't have the opportunity to buy one. We'll try to share my screen here and put it bigger like this, and maybe we can comment it a bit. So how it was here exactly, you see that you're creating your own wallet. So with your social logins, you log into your you create in fact a Web3 wallet without knowing it. So you connect to the blockchain, and you create a repository where you can then drop your NFT to. And here you start doing the checkout, so people just can pay with fiat and buy as they would buy a ticket. And then here, after they did the checkout, people see their NFT visualized on the profile page, but in the same time, it's also dropped to their wallet. And then they have access to the token gated pages where people can redeem then the experience as it should be. And that, of course, is quite powerful. That I'm trying to here. Okay. That, of course, is quite interesting, and it's enabled via the platform SiteManager, where Kevin and the marketing team can manage their experience. I think there are now 3 experiences, but still you have 22 to go as you want to launch 25 experiences. So good luck with that. But in my understanding, like the first opportunity to redeem the experiences are already live. So people are really able now to start redeeming their first experiences.
That's right. We are already opened 3 of them. So
all right, cool.
Now we really want to give a bit of... I think my camera is frozen. But anyway, we really want to add some first experiences to really, build the community first and get to know who they are and see what works and what doesn't work. So we opened 3 of them. After that, we're going to take a little break and focus on really delivering good experiences. And then we'll start, opening the rest of them up. And that's when we'll start really looking towards experimenting more as well. Now we're really focusing on the the experiences and the community thing first.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, Kevin, maybe it's good also to share with the audience, if you want and if you can, of course. You decided to launch this project, if I can tell it like that, a bit low profile. It's not that you that you create a TV commercial about it and create now your MagicCircle membership account or something like that. So it was a bit, it was under the hood. It was beyond the hype, but also a bit low profile to the community very well. Could you explain a bit to the audience how you built, let's say, your first list of interested people, your interested fans, how did you then, when you went live, communicated to those fans? And then finally, and I think that's quite interesting to share, is how do you look to the first traction? Are you happy with the results? How does the management look at this experiment? Is that possible to share something about it?
Yeah, sure. When we introduced the idea first, we did it during a weekend at the end of last year, where we had a couple of quite big shows. The Sinterklaas show is traditionally a very big one in Belgium, the Netherlands as well, but in Belgium, the one we do is like 4 or 5 big halls, Sportpaleis for those who know. And we had some other shows back to back with those called the Throwback, where we did kind of a multi figure or multi brand show from 20 years ago, or way back. And we saw, it's the second time we did this, and we see a huge wave of nostalgia at this point towards those brands, like the OG Samson and Gert Stefan was talking about. We did that a couple of years ago, and it was insane, the reaction we got from that. We did that together with Kitnet for their birthday celebration. And now we did one ourselves with Spring, and you had to be there. That was a huge, young adults really reliving their youth, probably in a bit of bad times. And it was an amazing thing to be there. It was insane. You had to be part of that generation to really understand what was going on there. But we had some, really big fans there. And then you had the fans more family-like in the shows on the next day or the next days with the Sinterklaas show. So we had these two audiences, and that was a very good moment to target those, because we have a lot of great fans out there at those locations. So it was a perfect opportunity to just open it up to them. Of course, it went much broader than that quite quickly, and that's when the press started picking up of the idea behind it as well. So that's where we launched it first. We did do a bit broader towards a couple of months ago when we opened it up, but really, again, to our own newsletter subscribers. Okay, we did a little press release, but it was, like you said, low profile, because we only had 250 seats. I know, Colin, you said 501. I'll come back to that one, because there are actually, for those who are tech savvy, they will see that there are actually 501 in the collection.
Especially the one I'm interested in.
That was the one I wasn't going to.
Okay. 250 others then.
But so it is low profile. It's, you could, we didn't want to do a cash grab here, and the board was on board. Board was on board with that, because it was an experiment at the beginning. So you can't do experiment with thousands of people. So we really, it was a strategic choice to keep it small. I think over 80% is sold, so that went quite quickly. Another thing of, when you talk about traction, coming back to the 501, we actually gave all of the employees one as well. That was actually our test case. We opened it up internally for our employees first. They have NFTs with a special thread. How do I say it? Thread, whatever. They have, the Samsung has a cap here, and only employees can have that one. They don't have access to the experiences that we're opening up to the MagicCircle. We'll be, doing separate experiments with them. Sounds a bit weird, but we'll be using it on a different way with them than we will be doing with the experiences. Employees can come to shows either way. So a lot of the things that we'll be opening up, like press conferences, etc., they're already there. So that's not that interesting for them. So that's why you have like 250 public sale, 250, and there's one floating around, and I'll just let that be a mystery of what we'll do with that for later. But so we tested it with our own personnel first to validate again that base of, can everyone do this? Can someone from accounting till someone from marketing to the CEO, can they all redeem this thing? And we had a feedback loop on that, which we iterated upon in, I think, a week, wasn't it? I think we
I
only
think
did a
a
week
couple
of
of
iterations.
days a week. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was actually great from the beginning. The things that came out of there was not that big, so I was happy with that result. Another traction thing is that almost immediately when we started with this project, it vibrated throughout the company in a way that there are a lot of departments within your company that really have to get involved. You should think like, oh, it's just two nerds, the digital guy and the IT guy doing a project. They have fun. No, you have to involve accounting, because all of a sudden there's stuff like cryptocurrency on your
I
balance
have it
sheet.
on my balance. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
yeah.
what's that about? What's the legal status? So the legal team comes in and says like, well, that's still a gray zone, and they have to figure it out. And I think that's the amazing thing was that they were all so interested and on board with this, which really warmed me a bit, because I didn't really expect it to come from that way in such a warm way. But that made it a company-wide experiment from day one. And that was, if you talk about traction and talk about, you know, the experiment is already half fulfilled, because right now a lot of departments are really know what it is. Everyone who works here has an NFT without really knowing it, or really, if they want to know more, we're talking to a lot of people who come to us like, okay, what can I do with this, and can I sell this, and can I and is it worth something, and whatever, and how does that work when you want to give it, and etc. So a lot of questions are popping up, and still a lot of people don't really care, and that's okay, that's fine. But to see how quickly it spread throughout the company from day one, that was very interesting. And that was something, if people are looking at this, and they're company owners or inside the company and thinking about, what's the value in this, that's half of the value, because
Mhm.
a lot of people in your firm will, by this kind of experiment, will gain a lot of knowledge from day one and be ready for when this becomes something.
Yeah, and I think I that is a main difference when you compare it to other brands we have I read use cases about. I think the good thing from Studio 100 is that you could start from already an established community. So the experiment was more, can we enable, empower that community that we know very well to tap into this kind of innovative use cases? Can we let them buy that specific NFT? I think you can do such an experiment. You can sell to anyone, but building the community is the hardest thing to do. And that, of course, you already had, of course. It was like, okay, we have that community. Can we do something with it? And I think that is quite interesting for major brands like Studio 100 to work with. So if you already have the community, that's the point I want to make, then one part of the exercise is already completed. That's one of the hardest thing into getting a successful NFT project out there in the markets. I see here, by the way, a question popping up from someone who is listening via LinkedIn. What advice do you have for other Web3 startups that have a bootstrap budget to get more eyes on their projects? I don't know, Stefan, Kevin, do you have an idea that you can share with the guy who is listening?
Uh,
If I
Go ahead.
can, or Stefan, go ahead if you want. No.
Go ahead.
The one of the things that we've been looking into is that if you start looking around, there are huge communities being built, but they may not be that visible. And I'm talking about really people who are really into Web3. So I don't know what kind of startup you have. We are putting everything under the hood. If you call it a Web3 startup, I'm guessing you're really using the technology as it is, and putting it out there that it is about this technology as well. I would advise to start looking into a lot of community that's being built already around this thing. A lot of brands that are doing this are actually better than us in community management, because that's something that we noticed in this project quite fast, is that if you're not going to make sure that they can come to a place, they'll make the place.
Yeah.
There are already Facebook pages built where people are gathering, MagicCircle members are gathering and discussing and giving feedback. I think Alexander, you and me are in
Yeah,
some of the
absolutely. We tapped into that group also to learn
yeah,
about it. I think that's
yeah,
quite
and it's amazing what kind of feedback
organic growth. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's amazing. And there are other companies who are doing a much better job at this than we are from day one, and they're building. A lot of that is happening on Discord, probably something on Facebook, and etc. But they're turning into huge communities, and you'll see a lot of collabs there. There's actually a lot of brands who are working, and that's something we're looking into as well. Is like, how can we, start exchanging these kinds of things?
Yeah.
That probably won't be for the coming months, but it's in our, Jonas and mine's head, like, how can we give value to other communities and do that in two directions? So one of those things I would say is go and search for those and get talking with the people behind those things, and see if you can, exchange those kind of communities or plug into each other.
Yeah, I fully agree actually that like Web3 is all about community building and doing cross community stuff, like having the ethos of being an open industry. I think also as marketeer and community manager at Venly, as indeed try to find other communities that are like-minded or where you think that your target audience will potentially be, and just start talking. Don't take yourself too serious, but be honest and talk about your project and share knowledge. It's about knowledge transferring and share what you can help, how you can help, and ask honest feedback. And I think like the communities we are seeing today, they are like Discord, a lot of Discord channels. You need a community manager if you run like a community with thousands of people, but if you are able to get the feedback from them and you launch something and they are very honest, and if you're honest as a brand or as a startup or as an NFT collection, and you should be clear what you want to achieve. And again, like to reflect on what Studio 100 is doing, they immediately explained what utility is or what benefits. I'm saying utility because NFTs and utility is something hot. It's important. But like you Kevin, immediately announced, okay, it's not just an NFT or a digital collectible or whatever. It comes with something. And I think if you then indeed as a startup also show what potential and benefits you can deliver towards different communities. I think if you have a bootstrap budget and you cannot do a lot of big marketing, I think you should connect with people and try to find the people, like-minded people, and ask them feedback and share your passion, share what you want to achieve, and share how you help building the Web3 space. Because we as blockchain technology provider, of course, we also have our competitors, which is good because we have all the same mission at the end of the day, as making this as a mature industry and bringing a lot of people towards the industry. So talk to people and connect to people, go to different Discords, go to different Twitter accounts, try to go into Twitter spaces, and share your voice, share what you're doing. And I think this is the best tip or add-on addition to what Kevin told that I can add here. So
yeah, maybe another idea is all about the phase the industry is into. The industry is quite young. I think a lot of product companies, but also brands, are still in the experimental phase. And that's challenging, for product companies like Venly, like SiteManager to really start selling. But on the other hand, it's quite an opportunity to build partnerships. And I think that is something that I learned compared to the classical Web2 industry, that it's quite easier to set a partnership and to collaborate and to go into co-creation mode. It's like, if you look at the three of us, it's Venly who has the Web3 knowledge and the Web3 infrastructure, the blockchain infrastructure. It's Studio 100 who has the community, and it is SiteManager who has the experience with building no-code and low-code experiences on top of it. And it's like finding out good partnerships, finding out how we can collaborate on this kind of things, where we will help the total industry the most with. Yes, the competition is there, that's totally right, but still there is much more openness compared to the classical Web2 digital industry. We are all into, as I say, let's build regular websites or something like that. So that is a good thing. And I think that could be maybe also a pragmatic advice to how to get more eyes on products, build great partnerships where we can show into setting up that kind of partnership into a real use case, what the value of your product, of your platform is, what we are doing here, with the three of us, together. So, well, it's a great question, I think. If there are other questions, please do not hesitate to drop it in the chat. I think, Kevin and Stefan, we are almost at the end of the show. Maybe, Kevin, you can still share a bit, some hints, what kind of next experiments you're thinking about. You mentioned something about tickets, or other things you're thinking about as well?
Yeah, for sure. First, we're putting some dedication on delivering good experiences for the community. After that, we'll start experimenting. Ticketing is obviously something that will be on the table because it's a very obvious one for us, and we see a clear potential there. For other things, I think the cool thing about this partnership that we're having here is that we're all coming from different directions, where Venly is obviously very into all that's happening, really into blockchain. Me, in the entertainment business, we see the potential that we are having. And Alexander, you're talking to a lot of people in the space on the web part of it. And it's always, those talks that we're having, it feels like every time we come together, we get this like one new idea, and that we really have to make sure that we don't go too fast in this kind of thing. So I feel like I'm a blocker on some of those conversations that we're having. But I'm really looking forward to that part, obviously, because that is why I'm in it. And that's still to come. We're gonna take this as it goes, with the experiences it's as well. We now put out there 3 that really give an idea of what we want to do. Something with merchandising, something with kids entertainment, and coming to look what's happening in this building, and giving the more adult audience a glimpse of what's happening in Puurs and how we're doing this, and how quite unique that is what we are having there. And we're going to iterate on that, but we're not going to just push out there, there you go, we put out our 25, we're done, goodbye. No, we're going to take it as it goes. In this the cool thing about this company is that there's always something happening or something coming on, and probably there's going to happen something next month that even I don't know about. So we're going to really jump on those things. Like if for some reason a press conference is coming up, we're going to look at, okay, that's the kind of thing that we're now putting in place, is having this ideal reflex of like, okay, how are we going to use this, A, for our community, and B, for the experiment? And it will be in that order. On some point it'll pivot and the experiment will become a bit more important for us. But that's the way we're going to approach it. Like, okay, this is an opportunity that we're having now. We're opening it up to our fans. And a lot of people, when we started doing this, had a lot of questions like, how long is this going to take? What can I expect? And for sure,
Are you going to track how many experiences I already redeemed?
Yeah, those kind of things. And
Yeah,
it's actually fun to say, like, you know what, we have no idea. Because we really want to involve you guys in the most essential things that we're doing. And I think that's the most, valuable thing that we can give, and is on the same time the most valuable thing that we can get back as well, because then we're really working on the things that are happening.
Yeah, it's a community. You can use it as a voice. You can use it as a vote. You can ask your community, okay, what would you think about this or that? How about the new outfit of K3? We have 2 variations, and then launch a decentralized vote. There are so many ideas. But the point is, yes, deliver the first experience top notch that you really can please your community. We have there a question from Maurice. He just congrats us on the show. Also thanks, Manuel, for joining. I think, we came to an end here. It was really a pleasure to meet and to interview you, Kevin. Also, Stefan, thank you very much to attend again on this show. I don't know if you guys want to add something to the audience. Otherwise, we will wrap it up, I would say.
I think I talked a lot.
I just want to say, if you're a developer in the audience and you want to do stuff and things on blockchain, but you think that it's so hard for you and you don't understand how a technical work, that's why you're here. Like what Stripe is as a payment solution, this is what Venly wants to be for Web3 and blockchain. So you can just start using our APIs. If you go to our website, we have a developer hub. You can already start using our APIs to test around. And if you're maybe a metaverse or we're in a game, we have our SDKs ready that you can do what you do the best, is build experiences. And you can leverage our knowledge and our APIs. So and if you have any technical questions, or you can reach out to me or to us via LinkedIn, of course, or on Twitter. So.
And if you're not a developer and you still want to experiment with Web3, reach out to us and maybe we can help you no-code, low-code on top of the Venly API. That's also an opportunity. So really looking forward to the next use cases, to the next lineup. Thank you for all the inspiring comments in the chat. And we will invite, of course, everyone to the 3rd edition of the NFT Experience Show. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.
GM.
Bye-bye.